is Ignite Success, Fuel Your Fire, and I'm Snowden McFall, your host, professional speaker, author, trainer, and coach. And with me today is Teri Sowder. Teri is tax partner at Dixon Hughes Goodman, and she also has a very interesting approach to marriage and roles. Welcome, Teri.
Thank you, Snowden.
So tell us, first of all, a little bit about what your work is.
So I work for Dixon Hughes Goodman, which
Yes.
is a CPA firm. We're one of the top 20 in the country.
Yes.
And I am a tax partner here in Jacksonville.
And you moved here about 5 years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
That's great, from Texas.
Yes.
Wonderful. So Teri and I were talking recently, and one of the trends that I have been seeing is high-level professional women who handle their marriages a little bit differently in terms of roles. And Teri is one of those women. So tell us how your marriage is set up and how well it works for you.
So my husband and I, we have two children. We have a 4-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. When my daughter was born 2 years ago, it was right around the time I made partner. And so it was a lot more responsibility on me.
Yes.
And we made the decision at that time that financially it just made the most sense that I continued working and my husband became the caregiver of the children.
Which is wonderful, yeah.
So he does drop-offs, pickups, raises them 9 to 5 while I'm at work. And it's working out well for us and our family.
So it's been about 2 years now that you've been doing that.
That's correct.
Right, terrific. So he doesn't work outside of taking care of your kids.
That's correct.
That's wonderful. So that frees you up. And do you have long hours, I would think?
Seasonally, yeah. So during
Yes.
traditional tax season, I'm busy. And then when it's not tax season, I'm out at networking events.
Right,
and
bringing
meeting
in new
people.
business,
Right,
right.
exactly. So I have the ability to not have to worry about getting to my kids' school on
Right.
time to pick them up. I have flexibility to where an evening or two a week I can attend events and not have to worry about my children being with a sitter.
Well, actually, there are several women who've been on this show who are in a similar situation, who are doing a lot of cool things as leaders, and their husbands are helping them out enormously. And I think it's a model that's becoming more and more common. And I think that whatever works,
Right.
whatever works in every marriage. Now, you have a unique approach in terms of reevaluating this. How do you all do that?
We do. So the first year she was home 100% with him.
Okay.
And so at the end of that year, we just had a discussion. Is this still working for him? Is it working for our daughter? Is it just the right approach for us? I don't want him to ever feel like he's trapped
Right.
in this position. Again, we all have input into how it works and how we're proceeding. The next year, she went to school 2 days, and my son switched from 5 to 2 days. So they were both 2 days. So that was our change. This year, they're both going to go 5 days, but I also have a stepson who's 10, so we'll be at 3 different schools, 3 different drop-offs, pickups.
Wow.
So he doesn't have much time during the day there, but we have the flexibility.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
He'll just be the manager of the house. We have a lot of projects around the house, and he enjoys that. So for him, it's a nice trade-off. He knows that our kids are being taken care of by somebody who loves them,
Right.
but he has the flexibility and ability to keep our house up and running and maintenance and doing the things that he enjoys as well.
Which is great. And I think one of the other things that can be tricky is in our society, the way that we have defined roles
Right.
and what a role of a parent is, what the role of a wife, what the role of a husband is. And as fabulous as these wonderful husbands are, and I have a great one, and I'm super grateful for that, and he's very supportive of my career, it does seem to happen a fair amount that women still have a lot to do around the house, even when men are taking care of the household.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure why that is. We were talking about it before. It has a little bit to do with a singular focus that sometimes happens with men.
Yeah, it's something I think that's always the joke between us is, he literally says, I can wash a pot. I can do one thing at a time, whereas women, we've got 25 things going on at a time. But I think the trade-off is he spends good quality time
Yes.
with our children.
Right.
Me, I'm doing laundry, writing the grocery list, entertaining them, but half entertaining them, right? And so
Right.
I try to focus on what are the positives he's giving him that I
Right.
don't.
Right.
And so they get a trade-off of good things. But we certainly, I think, are as equitable as anybody I've seen, but it's still not quite the same, right? I'm
Right.
probably packing the lunches and making sure the
Right.
backpacks are packed. And so I think it's just something that continue until we get to a place where everybody's 50-50 in
Right.
relationships. There is still a lot that falls on the moms and the wives. And so we just have to continue to evaluate how to change that.
Right. In writing this new book on women and overwhelm, I've done a lot of research on this. And even when men stay at home, women do the vast preponderance of housework.
Yeah.
The cleaning, the laundry, the taking care of all that. So I think it will take a little while, but we're seeing more and more opportunities for role shifts like this, and we are not our roles. Those are just
That's right.
ways that we are behaving in a given circumstance. We are not our roles, and I think that's really important for us to realize.
We look at it like that's his job, right? 8 to 5, it's his job with the
That's
kids.
right.
And then when I get home, we're a couple, and we are a family, and split the responsibilities in the evening. And so it takes a confident man to be okay with this, and there's a lot of support for women that stay home.
Right.
And so it's just having to focus on how to build that for men as well, where they feel supported and empowered to have connections with other men in the same situation.
Right, and to not have judgment. I mean, there is no one right way. I think it's unfortunate when women are judged for either being in the workplace or not being in the workplace. All roles have value,
right.
And I think, and it's whatever works in each family and each household.
Right.
So we need to be more supportive of each other and encourage each other, because the bottom line is we're all in this together.
That's absolutely right.
Well, thanks for sharing, because I think it's a great example, a great model for others to see, and so appreciate all that you do as tax partner and in the community. Thank you very much, Teri.
Thank you.